Hi, this is Irene, and just quickly popping in to think out loud my thoughts, especially concerning education, always keeping in touch. We're into the second week of online schooling, remote learning for my children, and some other schools which have continued to give the children the learning experience. But like I said, the disruption for me has definitely opened my eyes to things probably I would never have thought about concerning the learning life experience of a learner. It took me back to my days. I realized my daughter, they're still reading this book, yes, Lord of the Flies, and I've now understood this book very differently from when I did with as an A-level set book, seeking the high test scores because you had to have a certain score so that you'd be allowed to certain subjects in the university, which got me thinking, maybe we stayed a bit too long in the formalized approach of education, because Educare, as its true origin, simply means drawing out latent potential for experience and knowledge that could be turned into experience so that someone can have a good life. Now, as you know, the Industrial Revolution brought on the formalization of education because they were looking for skilled workers. You know, you just have to look at the models of stuff that keep coming up with every generation. A Toyota is still a Toyota, but it keeps upgrading. A phone is still a phone, but it keeps upgrading. An iPhone is an iPhone, but it keeps upgrading. But have we upgraded the system that we have put in society for forming the minds of the human resource that will continue to advance the lives of the humankind? Which got me thinking, as I was reviewing this book, Lord of the Flies, it's simply talking about the human mind and how it can be civil or uncivil. It's an environment that will shape it. Have we really understood the power of the mind? Well, this will also bring in the divine presence that exists within us, how we dull it with the school experience and all the society standards. And it's until we hit hell in our life is when we realize we've always had the GPS that should put us on course. So I'm looking at education or Educare in a different way. Probably we need to revise the days they need to go to school. Should we be pushing for high test scores? Why should a learner be put in an environment and the mind already is being schooled to expect failure or unemployment? Unless you score certain test scores, you will not get a certain position in society. And we've since realized that employment simply comes up from a need of giving a service. Educare should basically be about developing the motor skills, harnessing the potential, forming the emotional intelligence, developing a mind so that it's able to fully function in society and to itself in perfect harmony. Well, education is one of the pillars we've seen, and of course the parents and a home being the first station where a mind is developed. I'm seeing us heading to a place where education will need to evolve, definitely has to evolve whether we like it or not, if we're to keep up with the kind of human being that we're seeing unfolding in front of us. Technology came, it is telling us something. Here I am, use me the best way in which you can shape and have the great or the perfect human resource. And there is such a thing as perfect human resource. I am now believing that each and every other day, because I think the schooling or education system has kind of raised minds that come into the environment fearful of not fitting in because there are certain standards that have been put in society: house, car, investment, intellect. So we've dealt with the intellect, but have we really schooled the whole person, being as is? Have we explored the potential that makes them the perfect person? I just have to see what's happening in my country right now, you know, as we enter into the political time. Everyone now believes that, for lack of better description, that politics has become Uganda's next biggest cash crop. Yeah, it's a job line. I mean, it's the fear of I need to be successful in society. And I mean, judging from what we have seen, politics seems to be like the gold mine where you can get the good money and the position and the fame. And let's face it, when you get to a certain age in your life, you believe success is about having the money, the house, the car, the fame. But there's more to life than just that. And I believe, I, for one at least, I'm looking at raising a generation that is a full, perfect human resource, where the proper educare has been dealt with. Is this person's motor skills fully developed, emotional intelligence, the spiritual divine flow? I mean, religion has schooled it instead of us drawing from the latent potential that the God I am we are, so that it can guide this vehicle we call the outside person and have the perfect life. I think we're heading there. Well, These are just my thoughts I'm throwing out there, and a small exercise that I'm now doing with my nephews and nieces. You know how we tend to ask them, who do you want to be? I am realigning my mind from that old pattern that has existed way back. I want to be a lawyer, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a singer, I want to be a creative, because we tend to school them into small boxes to become what we have seen before us, where someone says, oh, my father was a doctor, so all of us are doctors. Wrong way of parenting. Each human being comes with a specific gift, a potential that they're able to serve for their generation, and it comes as a job line or a source of income. I believe that's what we are now opening up to. So this is a small exercise I'm doing with them. I ask them every week to ask themselves, who do they want to be? Without looking at mommy, daddy, others, you know, what grandpa has done. Who do you want to be? That's the best way for them to tap into their God-given divine potential. Yes, they will go to school, they've schooled how to read, write, speak, communicate with others, but there's always that one thing that you specifically as a God particle came to do. And it's not society to dictate how you will unfold it. It starts as a child. Hence, some people see them as children and geniuses, and then they raise them as a genius, yet this is someone whose potential was never interacted with. We all need to do a paradigm shift, but the parents have to prepare themselves into the paradigm shift first and foremost. Change the way you have been perceiving how children should be learning, how they should be pursuing their future, getting out of that career based into what is the solution that is coming up in my generation that I need to look to, that I flow from freely right now as a child. The desires are already hidden in them. We tend to smother them because we want them to become what is available on the job market. Evolution just requires that every generation has an expansion of the job market, and probably the reasons why we experience unemployment is that we have failed to create and innovate. Every challenge means a solution. Every solution means employment or a funnel from which income, earning, or money will flow to another, through another, for another. There is a lot of potential out there. There's abundant supply of employment, but we're just not getting it right because we have schooled ourselves into grades and in the little jobs that have been in the past. Yet the challenges are telling us here is a new job. But how do we shape a mind to look into that direction? Well, that's just me throwing it out there. I wonder what you are doing with your children. I'm hoping even when the schools are not giving the continuous, consistent flow, you're helping them to take the initiative to learn on their own. The best teacher is play and discovery, if you ask me. Let them take this time to discover who they want to be, not what society has formatted them to think they should be, not what parents and great-grandparents may have formatted them to think who to be. We love the morals, we love the teaching, but they need to find out who they are and which great best thing they want to bring on board. Well, those are just my thoughts, and let's carry on doing the Educare as our responsibility as parents and responsible citizens. This is Irene's thoughts, just thinking out loud concerning Educare. It is what it is.